I'm honored to present our next featured speaker. This is Katherine Morrisseau-Sinclair. Katherine is the founder and lead walker of the Lake Winnipeg Water Walk 2014. She's an Anishinaabe woman from southern Manitoba whose name is Animikwe, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, which means Thunder Woman. Her strong connection to Medewan teachings, as well as being a proud wife, mother, sister, aunt, and grandmother, drove her to do something about the destitute state of Lake Winnipeg. She's a mentor and a spiritual teacher to young women in her community and is a renowned advocate for the health of water. So I'd now like to present Katherine.
Thank you very much. Hello. Oh, you hear me. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm sorry that I made Pepper have heart palpitations because she didn't know I was here. She thought maybe I wasn't coming or something like that. And but I was over at another event that's happening over at the University Center, and I've heard wonderful things about this particular gathering. In particular, I don't know Amy Kraft, but is that Amy? Hi, Amy. I really, really, really would love a copy of that beautiful, what you've put together with people from Roseau River. I think that's phenomenal, what you've done, and I want to say miigwech to you for doing that. But as was shared earlier, I'm an Anishinaabe Kwe, and it's interesting. It's interesting to see what's happening in the community. You know, I think these issues around water and about the earth in general, that our people are really beginning to stand up and start saying, we need to take back what our role was, you know, historically and even today. I've been very lucky. I wasn't raised within a traditional family already. My family was broken down from all those systems that affected many of the Aboriginal people today. And I went to a public school, probably much like you, in a very racist community. And one of the things that I remember being told, it was in grade 4, I think, and I look around the room, you guys look very young, except for maybe a few people. I'm not going to name names. But one of the things that I remember is a green history textbook across Canada. And it was in grade 4, and I was a minority in the classroom. There was probably me and another Anishinaabe person. And what happened was we were talking about Canadian history. And I'm 58 years old, so you know back then, and I believe even today, history starts very often with the arrival of Christopher Columbus, which really irks me. And but that's another topic for another day. You can invite me back. But what happened was my grade 4 teacher, Miss Jones, she was very young. I still remember how she looked. She was introducing this history class, and there was a picture in this history book of Father Brebeuf, who was a Jesuit priest, who was being burnt, in, I don't know what you call that thing, stake. And he looked like he was in pain, you know. But even though he looked like he was in pain, he still looked like a human being, all right? Then around him were some very grotesque-looking beings, the ugliest that I've ever laid my eyes on. They almost look like monsters. And, of course, you know, who are they? You know, who else is there in that picture? Well, she said it's the Indians. The Indians were burning this priest at the stake. You know? And of course, everybody, I'm sitting at the back of the room there, and of course, everybody turns around, and looks at me. And I felt like I was going to have to fight 32 people. You know, because when I remember and I look at my mother was so beautiful. She's since gone on. When I looked at my grandmother, my grandfather, my aunties, my uncles, none of us looked like that. None of us. And I went home that day and I said to my mom, you got to help me, Mom, because they're talking about Indians and everybody's looking at me and I don't know what to say because everybody's asking me, who am I? What are you? And my mom, God bless her, said, you go back there and you just tell them you're Canadian. All right, I'm Canadian. What the hell does that mean? Really, I didn't have a clue, eh? So it was at that very young age I became determined to find out my truth. I began a journey of self-discovery, and I was able to reconnect to the traditional teachings. And I've been an active member of the Three Fires Medewan Society. I have worked with the Little Boy Water Drum. I've worked with some incredible grandmothers who have mentored me. And as a result of that, our Grand Chief, Edward Benton Benet, over the last 12 years, transferred to us a beautiful water bundle, the women of the lodge. And in transferring that water bundle, what he gave to us as women were beautiful water songs, the most incredibly beautiful water songs. He helped us understand our role as Anishinaabe, as women, about what our responsibility in this life is. We all sit there thinking, what's my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? And one of the things that I know, one of my purposes, because I am woman, is I am the carrier of the water, and I'm the protector of the water and the earth. And I take that really seriously. I embrace it. So he also helped us understand, the ceremonies connected with the water, the beautiful ceremonies that our grandmothers did generations ago. He was able to bring that forward. It's a bundle that flowed from his maternal grandmothers, his aunties and his mothers. There was a time when ceremonies went underground, eh? It wasn't something that was done out really front and forward, because there were even laws passed that prohibited us to be able to do that. My husband graduated from law school here. My husband is Justice Morrisseau-Sinclair, and he's over at the University Center doing something else over there. And I said, I'm going to go and look and see if they have a picture of you in this law school, and maybe I'll draw a mustache on it or something like that. And so he made me swear before I walked over that I wouldn't do that. So the mustache. So, as a family, I was very, very lucky. I didn't have children. I had sobered up. I had put aside all of that crap. That was part of my life. And my baby is 31 years old today. Not today, but now. Her birthday was on June the 12th. And one of the things that I'm very proud to say is that my daughter only knows Medewan philosophy. She knows her creation story. She knows who she is. So that when she went through the public school system, when she went to university, she was able to challenge the myths that still exist about us. And, I sat with her one time. I said, tell me, my girl, what is it do you think we could have done better as your parents? And she says, Mom, you guys gave me everything. The most important gift you gave me was my identity. You helped me stay connected to that beautiful, beautiful road that we were given to walk as Anishinaabe people. So, I have a granddaughter today. She's 8 years old. I have 4 kids altogether, and they're so cheap. They've only given me 1 grandchild. So I keep borrowing from other people, eh? And so I've got a little collection of young people that call me Kukum. And I'm always looking. My husband always says, be careful. If Katherine looks at you too long, she may try and adopt you. I'm always adopting people, too. That's how my family grows. So I'm very rich today. Back in January 2012, I was sitting in my living room on a Sunday morning reading the Winnipeg Free Press. And there was a story in the Free Press that said Lake Winnipeg was nominated the most threatened lake for that year. And unfortunately, she won. She won that title. And when I was reading about what was happening to her, I was thinking, what are you going to do about that as Anishinaabe? What are you going to do? Because you have a responsibility to do something. I cannot just sit there and read a newspaper and know that she's dying. It said in 10 years, the world's 10th largest freshwater lake will die if something isn't done. Think about that. I know that many of you may have parents and grandparents who have enjoyed Lake Winnipeg, who have parents who made their living as a result of fishing or trapping around Lake Winnipeg. I was out there in the winter when one of the fishermen, a man by the name of Charles Simard, took me out in the middle of the frozen lake because I had to do a water offering, for the walk that I'm doing. And what happened was Charles Simard said, when we come back, I want to show you something that I've been saving for you. I want to show you what I'm pulling from this lake now. And even though Charles is a very strong Christian, he said, when I heard what you were doing, I was so thankful. And I'm going to do whatever I can to help you. Because Charles says, this isn't just, it's not an issue of just traditional people or just Anishinaabe people. This is a human issue. It's a human issue that's going to affect everybody. It's going to affect you, generations. What are you leaving behind for your grandchildren? Are they going to have clean water? Are they going to have access to clean water? Or are they going to have to rely on the companies that continue to steal the water from our lakes and bottle them? Is that what you're going to do? Have to do? So we have a big responsibility to stand up and say, this has got to stop. And so when Charles, and that thought that I had was reinforced when I went to the fish shack there where Charles cleans his fish. And you know what he showed me? And you might have to bear with me because I still get really emotional when I think about it. He showed me a fish that he had pulled out of that lake where the scales were growing backwards. He showed me fish that didn't even look like fish anymore. Their eyes were on the top of their head. He showed me fish that had huge tumors growing on them. And that made me even more determined. I'm going to leave something better for my granddaughter and my grandchildren 7 generations from now. And so I said to my husband that Sunday morning, guess what I'm doing? And guess what we're doing, I said, actually. We are doing a water walk. And he looked at me kind of, oh, Katherine, that's interesting. You're going to walk? I said, yeah, I'm going to walk to the lake. He says, Katherine, you have to start walking to the store instead of jumping in your vehicle. How rude, eh? But that's him. And I said, Murray, this is different. This isn't going for food or, a pop or something to drink. This is a spiritual walk. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry that incredibly beautiful water bundle that was transferred over to us as women, and I'm going to use those tools. I'm going to sing for the water. I'm going to pray for the water. And I'm going to offer. I'm going to offer gifts to the spirit of the water. And I'm going to ask her to help heal her. Because we can do that. We can do that as Aboriginal people. We have so many beautiful gifts. All we have to do is do it. Come on, get up. Believe in what you've been given. As an Anishinaabe person, recognize what you've been given. And I petition my relatives who are not part of my community to walk with me. I'm not asking that you pray the way I pray. I'm not asking you to become Medewan, like me. I'm just asking you to bring your good heart. I'm asking you to pray in the way you pray, and we can do this together. We can do this together. We can heal Lake Winnipeg. If you have an opportunity, I would like you to check out some books that have been written by Dr. Masaruka Emoto. E-M-O-T-O is his last name. He's written a number of beautiful books. Messages for Water. Oh, there's just so many. He's got about 7 books. And he's from Japan. He's a scientist from Japan. And so what he's done is that he took samples of water. In one sample, what he did was he offered song and he offered prayer and he offered kind words to that sample of water, to those waters. And then he had another sample of water. And what he did there was that he totally ignored it. And actually said negative things around the water, negative words around the water. He then froze both of those. And when he brought out the trays of water, what he saw was the water that had been prayed over, the water that had been sung to, the crystals that formed in those waters were absolutely beautifully perfect. The crystals were just incredible. The water that had been ignored or spoken to in a harsh way, they didn't form the crystals. When I was looking at those crystals of that water, it made me sad because they look so deformed, And so a man across the waters reinforced what we've known as Anishinaabe people since the beginning of time. And so when my scientist friends challenge me, I say, hey, wait a minute. One of the things that's missing in your work is the spirit. One of the things that's missing in your endeavors when you work and try and help the earth, the waters, is you're not incorporating the spirit in there. And when you bring the spirit along with you, then you've got balance, then you've got wholeness. And read my friend's book, I always tell them. So, it's already 25 after. I was supposed to leave you. Where's my friend there that was supposed to... Were you waving at me? Yeah, I ignore that. I forgot to tell her. I didn't tell her because I knew she would sit here, and then I wouldn't be able to ignore her. But she wanted me to leave a little bit of time for questions. But before I do that, I'd like to leave a water song with you. It's one of the first beautiful water songs I learned. And I would like to ask that not be recorded in any way, whether it's, these cameras here or your own. I would ask that you respect that and not record any of it that I'm going to share in respect to that.
Thank you very much for honoring us with that song. I would like to take this time to open it up to any questions anybody might have for Katherine.
Don't be shy. It's your day. Ask me anything. If I don't know it, I'll direct you to somebody else.
I'm a scientist and I'm planning on working with water, and I'm wondering if you have any suggestions for us as scientists how we can include spirit in our work.
You have to include us as Anishinaabe people. You have to consult. You have to make us a part of everything you're doing. You have to allow us to be part and present there. It's not something that we can transfer over to you because that's not for you to do. It's for us to do, and that's what we bring, to the healing of not just the waters but the earth in general. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to reach out. And should you get rejected the first time, keep looking for that person. If you get rejected by somebody, then it wasn't your partner. It wasn't the person that was designed or was predetermined to help you, eh? And make sure when you're working with water that you consult and you work with the women. That's our role. Men have a different role. Men are the caretakers of the fire. And so in respect of that, men don't have a place to talk about the water. They need to talk about the fire. Just like I couldn't talk about their role. That's not my right. Okay?
Could you tell us more about the water walk, when it starts, and how the University of Manitoba, how the scientists, how the people who are studying water and trying to get a more spiritual relationship to join in? How can we participate?
Well, the water walk is starting on July the 12th. It's starting up in Norway House, the northernmost part of the lake. It is coming down the west side of the lake, so we'll go to Norway House, we'll walk to Ponton, Genpeg, Ponton, Grand Rapids, all the way down. Then we're going to cut across and walk closer to the water from Asher, and we're going to be in Peguis and Fisher River. We're going to be in Gimli. And then we're walking down and up part of the east side. And we're ending our walk in Little Black River. But Manitoba, the community of Manitoba, have stepped forward. And they're doing the entire celebratory feast and program when we're finished the walk. And I'm in constant contact with them. We have community meetings, if you want to come to our last community meeting. It's next Wednesday at the Indian Family Center on Selkirk Avenue. It's open meetings. We've got so many people sitting around the table trying to help us find what we need. This is all by volunteer. We don't have any grants. We're not supported by anybody. So we've been reaching out. I've got Bruce and Boivin, a great Aboriginal event group that's volunteering, sharing their time with me. And they're helping us reach out to the corporate community and to others. We have a website, www.lakewinnipegwaterwalk.ca. Visit our website. There's so much information on there. I'm so impressed with my daughters. The one my baby that went to Halifax, she studied computer science, so I'm taking advantage of that now. So I got my website created through her, and I've got another daughter, Danae, who is so technically astute, and she's, dropping all this information in there. We've done some promotional videos. They're up there. You could take that and share that. Share that with people that you're talking about, trying to help them understand. I give you permission. Take what you need. But don't make it yours. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you acknowledge where it comes from. Just like I acknowledge who my teacher is. And where my life came from was that little boy, water drum, the 3 fires, a day in society, and all of those great teachers in there, in particular, Edward Benton Benet. You can donate online. I didn't even know you could do that. You can make a donation through your credit cards, You can do it through Pen Pal, or you can send me a good old-fashioned check. If you're going to make a check out you make it out payable to Lake Winnipeg Water Walk. And so it's going to take approximately 28 days to complete this walk. And our goal is 50 kilometers a day. I have 3 women who have stepped forward. They're going to be with me the entire way. My husband is taking time off that crazy job he has, and he's going to be our cook. Can you imagine? Pray for us a little bit. Because, when it's his turn to cook, you know what it is? It's usually pizza or Chinese food or something like that. We took a quick run up the lake there to visit people on the weekend, make our connections up there. There are no pizza delivery places along the way. One good thing might come from it. I might be slimmer again. Hey, that's a good thing too. Join us. Come and walk. Brush off your running shoes. If you don't have running shoes, break them in. You're not supposed to wear new shoes. Apparently, I've been, walking, trying to get myself in shape and ready for this walk. It's open to any men. This is for you too, because we're the carriers. We're going to be carrying the water in that beautiful copper vessel, eh? But the men's role is to walk with the Anishinaabe Kwe with Kwe and carry the staff. So there is that as well. So if you want to reach me, you can reach me, Katherine, at Lake Winnipeg. I'll leave you some cards. I think I have some cards. One of my friends made up some of those cards.
And people just want to walk for one day. Can they just come? Okay.
1 day, 1 hour, 10 minutes, whatever. Put your footprints there. Leave your footprints there so that she can see that you cared enough about her too, that you love her as well.
And I found that you have a Facebook page.
Yes. We have a Facebook page, Lake Winnipeg Water Walk. We have a Twitter account. I don't know, all that social media stuff. They put it up there. I don't handle any of that. It's lucky I can use my cell phone. So the young people take care of that for me, or the ones that have that knowledge.
And I noticed that you did post a tentative schedule.
Yes.
So if somebody was, halfway through July and they wanted to join you, could they find out exactly where you guys are by looking at the Facebook page?
You'd have to follow us. We're using a piece of technology called Spot Connect. And Spot Connect, what that's going to do is that it's going to be with us, and you can go to our website, and you will be able to find us in real time. You'll see us. There'll be a blip, 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 showing where we are. And we are also going to be putting up blogs on our website, at the end of each day, letting you know what we've seen, what we've experienced, and where we will be approximately the next day. So, yeah, bring me food.
Do you have a list of things that you need if people wanted to donate? Or?
Yeah, we've been really struggling. One of the things is there is 2 pieces of the trail, of the route, where gas is going to be a real issue. There's going to be a real question mark about being able to have that. So we're trying to find a sponsor who either rent us or loan us a motorhome, because motorhomes have those 2 big tanks, So we're doing that. We're trying to find a hybrid car. We're talking with dealerships, trying to get them to come on board and either loan it to us or rent it to us. So that's going to be the vehicle that accompanies the walkers every day, not the big stuff, because they're gas guzzlers, So we're looking for donations. If you want to donate a gas card, that will help us. I mean, just food. I have a woman that reached out to me on Facebook, and she's putting together 7 bags of food. It's all in one bag, And all Murray will have to do is add water and boil it, simmer it. And that's going to be our meal for, well, 6 days, for our core group of people. But, the communities are really coming on board. I've got Heidi Cook in Grand Rapids who's coordinating things. We'll be doing a full water offering when we get there as well. On the night of July the 11th, I'll be doing a full moon ceremony to help us get ready. It's a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. And again, if you're up to driving 8 hours, 9 hours, depending on how fast you drive, come and join us for the full moon, and be part of the opening ceremony. Norway House has got a great group of people working there. They found us, a place where we can have our fire. They've got a boat lined up for us, take us out on the lake to do our actual water offering, the physical part of it. So yeah, it takes a community to do this, eh? And I'm leading it, but I'm not doing it alone. And one of the things I can tell you is I know the Spirit is with me. Because just when I'm thinking, ooh, we're going to have a problem, something happens. I was away at spring ceremonies for a week, and my daughter was able to raise $4,000 in that week. That's pretty good. Our budget is close to 36, though. 36 to 40, because what we're trying to do, too, is document this journey so that I can make a gift to the schools, and they'll have that as a resource, to help teaching the little ones, eh? Because that's where we got to work with those little people, to help them see what potential they have and what they can do. And so we're hoping, and that's going to be like 15,000 right there, just to have somebody following us with a camera. So if you have a camera and you're a videographer, raise your hand. I'll negotiate. Okay. I know you've got another, more program.
In the interest of time, I think we'll wrap up. But thank you so much, Katherine, for sharing this with us. The initiative that you're doing is really amazing. It's thank you so much for what you're doing for the water.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation to come and share this with you, and I wish you well. Are you all lawyers or what? No? Are you? Well, you're a I know there's a scientist in the room back there. And, oh, fantastic! Good job. Keep going. You got.
Thank you.